Welcome everyone to the NBSO Americas Dialogue about agriculture. This is the fifth edition of this year and the second of season 2, where we focus on sectors. It's great to see many new faces. I also see some familiar faces, so it's also great to have you back. Well, this initiative is organized for Dutch companies that are interested in expanding their business into the Americas. And today we'll make a trip along 6 regions to look at the agricultural sector. First, let me explain a little bit about the format. We will start with a central presentation where you will be provided with an update of the agriculture sectors and opportunities in 6 regions. So that's in 4 countries. So we have Los Angeles and Texas. Then we have our colleagues in Querétaro, Mexico. In Brazil, we have Belo Horizonte and Porto Alegre. And finally, my home country, Argentina. Thereafter, it's the part where you will have to do the speaking. So that's 2 breakout sessions, each one of 15 minutes. And in each breakout room, you will be joining the local experts of the NBSO office and also other entrepreneurs. So after the first breakout session, we will come back together, to the central hall, and it will take a few minutes to be transferred to the second breakout room. Then we'll have a wrap up, and finally we have the fireside chat. And at the fireside chat, well, it's optional. You can stay to have some informal chats and get to know other people. Let me tell shortly about the NBSO network. NBSO stands for Netherlands Business Support Office. So we're a trade office of the Dutch government. And we are located at places where there's no embassy or consulate, but there are opportunities for Dutch businesses. We are funded and coordinated by the RVO, which is the Dutch Enterprise Agency, and we form part of the Dutch economic network of each country. So we work closely together with the embassy and the consulates that are present in our countries. And the objective, of course, is to help Dutch companies to expand their business. And for example, we help with providing market information, highlighting business opportunities. We share our network contacts. We do matchmaking, and we also provide local support if you come to visit us in our regions. The Netherlands has a strong presence in the Americas with in total 16 embassies, 13 consulates, and 6 NBSOs. Each NBSO is a team of 2 people. The presentations today will be delivered by the chief representatives and the deputy representatives you will meet in the breakout rooms, or if not, after in the fireside chat. Okay, well, let's focus on the main theme, which is agriculture in the Americas. And the Americas, as you all know, it's an enormous continent with vast natural resources and also diverse climates and landscapes. I will take you through the presentations. We'll start at the south this time, then we go up north and from west, also from east to the west. Without further ado, let's start in Argentina, which is the homeland of Pope Francis, Messi, and of course Queen Maxima. It's a real agricultural powerhouse, the second largest country of Latin America, the third economy of Latin America as well. If we look to trade, then we can see that there's a long-lasting relationship between Netherlands and Argentina. There are many Dutch companies based in Argentina, and also the Netherlands is the third foreign investor here in Argentina. Trade itself, generally speaking, Argentina exports more to the Netherlands than vice versa, and still it's quite commodities and bulk products. Agriculture really is the backbone of Argentinian economy, so it accounts for 10% of the GDP, 20% of the workforce, and at least 60% of exports. In recent years, that has even grown. Argentina is market leader, for example, in various products, for example, in soy oil, in soy meal, citrus oil. Second in peanuts, third in sunflower, corn, and for example, fifth in beef, black tea, and shrimps. So here you can see the various products that make of the agro-industrial complex. Well, the Netherlands has a strong presence also in agriculture in the region. We have the regional office in the Embassy of Buenos Aires with agriculture, which is also the office for Chile, Uruguay, Paraguay. There have been various and still ongoing various collaborations on K2K and government-to-government level. And this year we started a public-private collaboration on the porcine value chain. If we look to opportunities, then, for example, there are opportunities in wastewater treatment and, for example, the generation of biogas. Horticulture is still quite small scale and informal, so there are huge opportunities for improvement there. Then if we look to the forecast of great growth and demand of animal protein, then Argentina is one of the countries that can deliver, and Dutch companies can help to achieve that goal. So I'm looking forward to meet you in the breakout room, and also our colleagues from the agriculture department from the embassy will be joining. Now we'll take a leap from Cordoba, 1,300 kilometers to the Atlantic coast, and we end up in Brazil. Hi, Richard, I'm giving the floor to you. You're on mute.
Thank you, neighbor from the southwest, and hello everyone from Porto Alegre now in the south of Brazil. This is quite a large area, bigger than France, but with only 30 million inhabitants. So that means a lot of space for agriculture. And this area is well known for its high quality of life standards, the business climate and agriculture. And also for its cooler weather. It rains regularly and temperatures can be like the Netherlands at times. So I really feel at home here. And the first Dutch people arrived here a long time ago, hundreds of years actually, but only 22 years ago in 1998, this NBSO was established. And that was after the Dutch communities and the Brazilians asked for it. So Europeans with their knowledge and solutions are very welcome here. So what can you find here? First of all, fertile soil and lots of space. It's a nice location along the coast with many rivers and natural ports. And many people here arrived from other countries, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands, and became very successful very quickly, growing vegetables, fruits, coffee, sugar, soy, rice. There is also cattle, poultry, and very good wines. the spumante is among the world's best. So you can try that without any problem. The whole sector, agriculture sector, it's big business here. And Holland is a very important trading partner, as we have the technology and the logistical solutions that are needed right now. We can assist very well. The region can feed the whole world 5 to 6 months per year, and it's still a growing sector. Despite Corona, export in the south of Brazil grew by 20% this year. Trump's trade war in the US, from the US, helped Brazil a bit, because Brazil exported more to Asia because of this. And the challenge for us is now to improve efficiency, to increase the production with less space. And if we do that, more nature can be preserved, such as hopefully the Amazon. Well, that's the idea. So we see excellent opportunities. The economy is the strongest of Brazil, together with Sao Paulo and Minas Gerais. And people say that things are well organized. So we hope that is also the case when you come here. Then you can experience this yourself. And you will meet the people here. They are called the Gaúchos. And these are the South American cowboys. And in Holland, we have the Gaúcho steak restaurants, who you probably know. And good steaks, food and wine you can find here as well in the entire region. And that includes Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. So what else? People speak Portuguese here, Spanish, English, German, but also Dutch. So you can choose. Next slide, please. Thank you. To give some highlights and opportunities, it's all about innovation and implementation of technologies. So if you are specialized in this, for example, in agrologistics, food processing or cooling systems, or in other words, getting fresh products to markets, you're very much welcome. And also if you are in animal husbandry, precision agriculture, bioinputs, or in the area of restoration of degraded soil, related or with other great ideas, we and the Brazilians will receive you with open arms. Our team, that's the embassy, the Agriculture Council, the consulates, and the NBSOs. Next slide, please. And what we can do for you in the south of Brazil is this. We can introduce you to all relevant people and Dutch businesses and corporations that are here already. You can present your solutions, work with Wageningen University and others, and get started very quickly. So it's a unique opportunity, I think, and we hope you will consider this. My name is Richard, and please connect with me or with Lucilla Almeida. This is Deprep, via email or LinkedIn. My name is on the sheet. And we can schedule a call, visit, or presentation can be online as well. And we're happy to help. So hope to see you there. For now, thank you. We stay in Brazil, but we go northeast to our colleagues, Willem and Luisa, to the other agriculture powerhouse, Minas Gerais. Over to you, Willem. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody in this hemisphere, and good afternoon to everybody participating from the Netherlands. Thank you for joining. Minas Gerais is a large state. In economic terms, it's the third most important state in Brazil. The capital, Belo Horizonte, is within 800 kilometers of 65% of national GDP. So we have a privileged location. It's the size of France. And it's a farming powerhouse. So we are, Minas Gerais is the #1 national potato producer. 32% of all the potatoes are grown in Minas Gerais. If we compare it to the Netherlands, it's still not that much, because in the Netherlands, 3 times as much potatoes are being produced as in Minas Gerais. And on top of that, we can do a harvest twice a year of potatoes, as opposed to the Netherlands, where you have one harvest. We're the #1 coffee producer. If Minas Gerais were to be a country, it would still be the largest coffee exporting country. And we take care of 55% of the national production in Brazil. Also #1 in milk. So there's also opportunities for milk processing equipment, etc. Next slide, please. Today, in the breakout sessions, I would like to talk to you about the possibilities that are specifically for Minas Gerais, especially in the field of food safety. You know, we're talking about from picking in the fields, mechanization of picking up to processing. So the cutting, the packaging, storaging, etc. So all the chain throughout to the supermarkets or export. And then we have a lot of water issues in Minas Gerais. Large mining companies are disputing water with large agricultural corporations. So there is still a lot to be done in terms of water savings, irrigations, but also the censoring, remote censoring of who uses what amount of water. That's an ongoing discussion here as well. And then the last one is not specific for the agriculture sector, but there's a lot of renewable energy to be a large potential for renewable energy out of the streams of after processing the sugarcane, for example, to alcohol or sugar. That sugarcane, the vinhaça, bagaço, can be used to make renewable energy. So there's also a study being done now on terms of bioreactors and upgrading substrates to biogas and biomethanol. Next sheet, please. So what we're doing now, currently, we are performing a market study for Minas Gerais, which is financed by the RVO in the Netherlands. So we can find out where the real opportunities are for the fresh cut technology and suppliers of the whole chain from the field to the supermarket or to the export project. And our idea is to put together a group of Dutch companies plus Wageningen as a knowledge institute and the government in order to do a publieke samenwerking, privaat-publieke samenwerking, where we can join a group of Dutch companies and study the market potential for the Brazilian market in Minas Gerais. So thank you very much. I'll see you soon in the breakout session. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Willem. Now we'll take a huge leap to the Northern Hemisphere and we end up in Querétaro, Mexico with Steven.
Thank you very much, Bastiaan. Welcome everybody to Mexico. Mexico, a big country, also, as previously mentioned by the others, a powerhouse in the agricultural sector. Mexico is almost 50 times bigger than the Netherlands. And if you look at the agricultural sector, it's around 10.5% of the gross domestic product. On the image, you can see more or less in which region, which products are produced. So it's very diverse. And to mention, there's a big focus also nowadays on organic agro, with a lot of companies present. And there's a lot of Dutch companies already active in Mexico. So together with the agricultural team of the Dutch embassy that is present also in this meeting, we organized last week a digital trade mission where over 200 companies participated to see about the Mexican agriculture sector and to talk with Mexican companies. So within those 200 companies, there were also Mexican companies, and we did a lot of matchmaking, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Mexico is if you look at the exporter of agro-foods, we're at the 10th place worldwide, and the focus is on obviously avocado, tomato, tequila, and beer. So Heineken is the biggest brewery of all of Heineken. It stands in Mexico, so it's a big market for them. And we have a new TMEC, the new NAFTA in place with our very friendly neighbors of the USA and Canada. So that means we can still export agricultural products to the US and Canada with low import rates to none. Next slide, please. So yeah, as the Dutch are mostly focused on the protected agricultural in Mexico, I will share some numbers. So there's around 42,000 hectares protected agricultural distributed in 32 states. It's a huge improvement because in 2003 that was just 132. So it's growing rapidly. And there's almost 450,000 Mexicans working in this sector, and their focus is on Sinaloa Jalisco, Michoacan, Guanajuato, Mexico, Querétaro. It's almost everywhere. And if you can see on the diagram on the right, so most of it is tomato, pepino, which is cucumber, and green chili. So that's almost the lion part of the production in Mexico in the protected agriculture. Next slide, please. So if I can mention some opportunities, I would mention that there's now a direct sea route between Mexico and the Netherlands. In the past, there wasn't, so it went through the US to get to Rotterdam, which meant it took 21 days. Now with the direct sea route, it dropped down to 12, so it's better now to send fresh produce from Mexico to the Netherlands. The World Horti Center will open in my state, Querétaro. On the right, you can see an MOU, which we signed last week together with the Mexican University, SciCor, that will help the World Horti Center take off in Mexico. And the agricultural sector is basically the only industry that is still growing despite COVID. The numbers are still going up, so that's good. And the Mexicans love the Dutch technology, so almost all Mexicans are familiar with them. And we saw that also last week in the mission, where a lot of Mexican companies participated, and well, they're already very familiar with our technology, and they like it. So that's a big plus. Additional to that is that the Green Tech from the Amsterdam RAI will host their first edition of their Green Tech Americas in Querétaro, and that is planned for 2021. They were supposed to do that in 2020, but because of the COVID, they postponed to 2021. So we will have a big Dutch community there, and hope to welcome you all there. And for other questions, I will see you all in the breakout room. Thank you, Bastiaan. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. And close to Mexico is Saskia Pardans in Houston, Texas. Hi, Saskia.
Welcome everybody to Texas. Texas is the second largest state in the United States. And also when you look at the economy, if it would be a city or a country, sorry, it would be the 9th economy of the world. Texas is the size of half of Europe, so you can imagine it's pretty large. When you look at agriculture, it's pretty new to us. Of course, there's agriculture has been there for a long time, but we haven't done a lot with it, and I hope that's going to change from now on. Because when you look at Texas leads the US in numbers of farms and ranches, and I think that won't be a surprise because that's also the image that Texas has. We rank #1 when it comes to cattle, sheep, goats, and surprisingly maybe also cotton. What's very interesting about Texas is that we have 10 different climate divisions. So you can imagine that there's everything for anything. And also we have 21 major land resource areas. So every agricultural activity can be found somewhere. So that makes it very diverse. But again, cattle and cotton are the most important products in Texas. Next slide, please. When you think about the traditional agricultural sectors, still there are a lot of innovative opportunities in Texas. Last year we wrote a sector report and also an opportunity report on these opportunities. And I want to mention a couple of them, and they're also mentioned with our colleagues in Brazil and Argentina. Renewable energy and agricultural is going to be an interesting opportunity in Texas. The same goes for water and agriculture, because what I mentioned before, there are very different types of climate. So in one part of Texas there's drought, another part there are flooding. So how can you deal with all those different kinds of water items? Also, shortening the food chain is very important. Food safety, it's mentioned before, processing, packaging, and storage is very important. And besides that, we are a neighbor country of Mexico, but it's becoming less logical to have labor there from Mexico. So we have to look for robotics. So a lot of innovative opportunities in Texas. Next slide, please. So what will be the next step? What we're doing right now, as I mentioned before, we have a sector report and an opportunity report. Based on that, we're organizing a digital fact-finding together with the agricultural counselor in DC, but also with the Wageningen University and the FMA in the Netherlands. And we've been talking to GoTexan, that's a part of the Texas Department of Agriculture, the universities, Texas A&M and Texas Tech, but also, for instance, with HEB, the largest grocery chain in Texas. So we're trying to find out what specific niche is interesting for Dutch companies to focus on in Texas. So I hope to see each other, of course, in the breakout rooms, but also in the future in digital events and eventually in in-person events. Because again, Texas has a lot to offer, but we'll meet in the breakout rooms and talk about it later. Thanks for the time, and Richard, Bastiaan, back to you.
Thanks, Saskia. And from Texas, we'll take a leap west to the sunny state of California, where Peter will talk about Los Angeles.
Yes, thank you very much, Bastiaan. This is Peter Post, live from Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. As you can see here, this is a picture about 100 years ago in the first half of the 20th century. It was a top farm county here in Los Angeles. This was all farmland. I'm sitting right now at this little water tank there in the middle. That's downtown. So it has changed for obvious reasons that you probably guess. If you look at the next slide, you will see that right now it's actually one of the most widespread urban city in the world. So that has all changed. What you see before, this is now downtown, but it's a very extremely important hub in California, and it's all about outdoor lifestyle. This will be one of the few cities in the world in which you can surf in the morning and snowboard in the afternoon. So there's a lot of outdoor here, a lot of lifestyle awareness, and sustainability, making the city greener, is really, really high on the agenda. Climate change never was away here, was always on the agenda. And therefore, it really provides a lot of opportunities for new solutions in agriculture. And the good news is, if you can see on the next slide, that Los Angeles is located in one of the largest agricultural states of the United States. These numbers are astonishing. I'm not going to walk through them. And what makes California very unique is that it has a really wide variety of different crops. Think of almonds, grapes. Also, cannabis is legalized here, so there's a huge increase of growing cannabis in the Californian state. And another good thing is we work very closely together with the consulate in San Francisco. So California is covered in the south and the north, and also we work very closely with Washington, where the agricultural attaches and counselors are located. So whenever you feel that California, South California, even Los Angeles is a place for your solution, get in touch and we happily help you to see how we can connect you to business partners here. Thank you very much, and looking forward to see you in the breakout.
Thank you very much, Peter. So we have had an interesting overview of all the different regions. And well, now it's time to interact with the different offices. So shortly you'll be transferred to the breakout room, and for a 12 to 15 minute session. Then we'll come back to the center room, and then we will go to the second breakout. So at any time you'll be transferred, and you just click join. There you go.